The crystal chandeliers of the Grand Azure Hotel scattered prismatic light across rows of white tablecloths as I took my seat at table 17. Not the family table. Not even close. I had been placed near the kitchen doors, where the steady swing of servers created a cool draft that made the candles flicker and bend. "Claire, you actually came?" My sister Amanda stopped beside my table with her new husband, Marcus. Her white gown probably cost more than most people's cars. Marcus stood there in his tailored suit, wearing the kind of expression people wear when they think the room belongs to them. "I'm surprised you could afford the gas money to get here," Amanda said. I set down my water glass carefully. "Congratulations on your wedding, Amanda. Everything looks beautiful." "It should." Marcus cut in, adjusting his designer cufflinks. "This venue charges $30,000 just for the reception space. That's not including food, obviously." "Obviously," I said softly. Amanda leaned closer, and the scent of her expensive perfume hit me before her next words did. "Honestly, Claire, I almost didn't send you an invitation. Mom said it would be embarrassing having you here in your..." Her eyes dropped over my dress. "What are you even wearing? Something from a discount store?" I glanced down at my simple navy dress. It was nice, professional, bought from a regular department store. "It's comfortable." "Comfortable?" Amanda repeated, laughing. "Did you hear that, Marcus? Comfortable?" Marcus smiled the way people smile when cruelty amuses them. "Claire, this is a luxury event," Amanda said. "People should look sophisticated, not like they're going to a job interview at a call center." "I think I look fine," I said evenly. Marcus snorted. "Sure, fine for a Tuesday morning meeting. Not fine for the Grand Azure Hotel. Do you have any idea what the average net worth is in this room?" "I couldn't guess," I replied. "Let's just say you're bringing down the average considerably," Amanda said. Then she turned and swept back toward the family table, where my parents were sitting with her in-laws beneath the soft gold light, smiling like they had stepped into a magazine spread about wealth and perfect lives. The first course arrived soon after. A delicate arrangement of seared scallops, microgreens, and some kind of foam I could not identify. The plate was beautiful, precise, elegant. I ate slowly and watched the servers move through the ballroom with practiced efficiency, gliding between conversations that sounded expensive. "Claire." My mother's voice carried across 3 tables. She was waving me over, her diamond bracelet catching the light. I stood and walked toward her carefully, aware of the eyes following me. "Yes, Mom? We're taking a family photo." She gestured toward the photographer, where Amanda, Marcus, Dad, and Marcus's parents were gathering into place. "Well, the immediate family," she said. I looked at her. "I'm immediate family." "Oh, sweetie." She patted my arm. "You know what I mean. The people who actually contributed to this event. The people who matter in Amanda's life. You understand, don't you?" I nodded once and stepped back. Then I stood there and watched them smile through the camera lens. A perfect portrait of success and celebration. Amanda glowing in white. Marcus standing proud. My parents looking pleased with themselves. Marcus's parents posed like they had purchased the evening outright. The photographer did not even glance in my direction. When I returned to table 17, I found my father standing beside my place setting, examining the silverware as if the arrangement offended him. "Claire, we need to talk about something," he said. "What is it, Dad?" He sat down across from me, which was strange enough to make me pause. At family events, he usually avoided me if he could. "Your mother and I have been discussing your situation." "My situation?" "Your financial situation. Your life situation. All of it." He folded his hands on the table. "We're concerned." "Concerned about what?" "About your future. You're 32 years old. You work some entry-level job at an office we can't even remember the name of. You drive a 7-year-old sedan. You live in a rental apartment." He counted each one off like he was reading charges in a courtroom. "Meanwhile, Amanda has built a real life, real success." "I'm happy with my life," I said. "Happy?" He frowned like the word itself annoyed him. "Claire, happiness isn't the point. Achievement is the point. Contribution is the point. Look around this room. These are successful people. Doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, executives. What are you?" "I'm an analyst." "An analyst?" He said the word like it tasted bad. That's what unsuccessful people call themselves when they don't have a real title. "What do you actually do, Claire?" "I analyze data and make recommendations." "For who? Some tiny company no one's heard of?" "Something like that." He shook his head slowly. "Your mother and I didn't raise you to be mediocre. We raised you to achieve, but you've consistently disappointed us. Do you know how embarrassing it is when people ask about our daughters? Amanda is a marketing executive married to a commercial real estate developer, we say. And Claire. Claire does something with computers. I'm sorry you're embarrassed, I said. Sorry isn't enough. Action is what matters. He leaned back slightly, as if preparing to deliver something important. We've decided to cut you off completely. I blinked. Cut me off from what? From the Family Financial Support Network. No more birthday checks. No more Christmas gifts. No more emergency fund access. You're on your own. Maybe tough love will motivate you to actually make something of yourself. I haven't asked you for money in 10 years, I pointed out. That's not the point. The point is that you're not trying. You're settling, and we won't enable that anymore. He stood up and straightened his jacket. Now, please try not to embarrass us further tonight. Don't talk to Amanda's in-laws. Don't mention what you do for work if anyone asks. Just stay at your table and eat quietly. Then he walked away. I sat there for a moment. Then I picked up my fork and continued eating. The scallops were excellent. The main course was filet mignon with truffle butter and roasted vegetables. As the plates were being set down, Marcus drifted back to my table, hands in his pockets, looking like he had returned for entertainment. Claire, quick question, he said. What kind of car do you drive? A Honda Civic. He laughed immediately. A Civic. That's perfect. Exactly what I would have guessed. Do you know what I drive? I don't. A Tesla Model S Plaid. Top of the line. 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds. It costs more than you probably make in a year. He paused, waiting for some reaction. That's nice, I said. He looked almost disappointed. It's not nice, Claire. It's exceptional. It's what successful people drive. But I guess you wouldn't understand that. You're probably thinking a Civic is perfectly adequate. It gets me where I need to go. He pointed at me like I had proven something for him. See? That's your problem right there. That mindset. Adequate. Gets me where I need to go. Successful people don't think like that. We think about excellence. About status. About making statements. I prefer to be practical, I said. Marcus leaned against the back of an empty chair. Let me tell you something, Claire. Amanda almost didn't invite you tonight, did you know that? She mentioned something about it. She was worried you'd make her look bad. Having a sister who's basically, well, let's be honest, basically poor reflects on her. People judge you by your family. I'm not poor, I said evenly. Oh, come on. You're eating at table 17. Do you know where that is in the hierarchy? That's the we had to invite them, but don't want them too close table. That's the pity table. I see. And let me give you some advice from someone who's actually made it in the world. If you want people to respect you, you need to show success. Dress better, get a better car, move to a better neighborhood. Fake it till you make it. I'll keep that in mind. He patted the edge of the table. Good talk. Oh, and maybe don't order dessert. I saw it on the menu. It's a $40 chocolate souffle, probably more than you'd want to spend on a single course. I watched him walk away, then took another bite of my steak. It was cooked perfectly, medium rare, warm, and pink at the center. Amanda returned just as dessert service began. Claire, we're going to do the cake cutting soon. Please don't get in any of the photos. I've instructed the photographer to focus on people who actually look like they belong here. Understood, I said. And honestly, after dinner, you can probably leave early. You've shown up. You've been seen. That's enough. I'm sure you're not comfortable here anyway. This isn't really your world. What is my world? I asked. She gave a small shrug. I don't know. Cheap restaurants, bargain shopping, Netflix, and microwave dinners. Whatever it is, it's definitely not 5-star hotels and luxury weddings. You're probably right, I said quietly. I know I'm right. Look, I'm not trying to be mean, Claire. I'm being honest. You and I are just different. I'm ambitious. I want the best. You're content with less. That's fine for you, but it means we don't really have much in common anymore. She turned to go, then paused and looked back. Oh, one more thing. Don't try to take any leftover food home. The hotel staff has been instructed about portion control and waste management. Besides, it would look really tacky. I nodded and she left. The cake cutting happened without me. The bouquet toss happened without me. The first dance, the toasts, the little staged moments everyone pretends are spontaneous. I watched all of it from table 17 near the kitchen doors while I ate my $40 chocolate souffle one careful spoonful at a time. It was around 9:30 when my mother approached with Aunt Susan and Uncle Richard. Claire, your aunt and uncle were just asking about you, Mom said in that tight, polished tone she used whenever she was irritated she had to acknowledge my existence. Hi, Aunt Susan. Uncle Richard. Claire, we haven't seen you in ages, Aunt Susan said, hugging me. How are you doing? I'm well, thank you. We were just asking your mother about your life, Uncle Richard said. She said you work in an office. That's right. Doing what exactly? He asked. My mother answered before I could. Something with data entry, I think. Nothing too exciting. Susan, Richard, you should try the champagne. It's from France. $25 a glass. Data analysis, actually, I corrected gently. Right. Mom waved a hand dismissively. Anyway, Claire has a nice little life. Nothing spectacular, but she seems content. Don't you, dear? I'm content, I confirmed. Aunt Susan looked uncomfortable. Well, that's what matters, isn't it? Being happy? If you say so, Mom replied. Though I've always thought achievement matters more than happiness. But maybe that's just me. Maybe some people are meant to be followers rather than leaders. Mom, I started. It's fine, Claire. We all have different levels of capability. You found your level. There's no shame in that. Then she smiled at Aunt Susan and Uncle Richard. Come on, let me introduce you to Marcus's parents. They own a development company worth $50 million. They walked away together, leaving the perfume and the insult hanging in the air. I finished my soufflé. Around 10 o'clock, while the dance floor was filling and the band played something loud and celebratory, my father approached again. This time he brought Amanda's father-in-law with him. Claire, this is Robert Thompson, Marcus's father, Dad said. Nice to meet you, I said, standing. Mr. Thompson shook my hand with a grip that felt deliberate, heavy, performative. Your father tells me you work in data analysis. That's correct. Which company? I hesitated. It's a small firm, you probably haven't heard of it. Try me. I know most of the business landscape in this city. I'd rather not talk about work at a wedding, I said. Dad frowned immediately. Claire's always been secretive about her job, probably because it's nothing to brag about, not like Amanda's position at Sterling Marketing. Marketing is a good field, Mr. Thompson said. Real influence, real impact. Data analysis, though, that's more of a support role, isn't it? Behind the scenes stuff. Someone has to do it, I said. True. The world needs worker bees, not just queens. He chuckled at his own joke, and Dad smiled along with him like they had shared something clever. But tell me, Claire, what are your career goals? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I'm happy where I am, happy where you are. He exchanged a look with my father. That's the problem with your generation. No ambition. In my day, we were always pushing forward, climbing higher. Now everyone just wants to be happy at their mediocre jobs. Maybe happiness is a worthy goal, I said. Happiness is what happens when you achieve something meaningful, Mr. Thompson replied. Not what you settle for when you can't achieve anything at all. Dad nodded eagerly. Exactly what I've been trying to tell her for years. But Claire has always been the stubborn one, never listens to advice. That's a shame, Mr. Thompson said. With the right mentorship, even someone at her level could probably improve her situation, though I suppose some people lack the fundamental drive required for real success. Then the two of them walked away together, laughing under their breath. I sat back down and watched the room pulse around me. More relatives drifted over as the night wore on. One by one, question after question. My cousin Jennifer asked if I was still renting that tiny apartment. Uncle Paul asked whether I had ever thought about going back to school to actually make something of yourself. My grandmother wanted to know if I had any prospects at all, dear, because you're not getting any younger, I answered calmly, deflected when I could, told the truth when I could not. At 11 o'clock, as I was considering leaving, Amanda found me again. She sat down at my table without invitation. Claire, I need to talk to you about something. What is it? This is awkward, but the hotel just sent me the final invoice. There's a charge on here that doesn't make sense. What kind of charge? It says there's a room reserved under your name, room 2847. Did you book a room here? I did. Her eyes widened. You booked a room at the Grand Azure? Do you know how much rooms cost here? The basic rooms start at $600 a night. I'm aware. Then why would you? She stared at me. Wait, are you actually staying here tonight? Are you that desperate to pretend you're part of this world? I had my reasons, I said. Your reasons. Amanda's voice sharpened. Claire, this is pathetic. You can't afford to stay here. You're going to max out a credit card or something trying to impress people who already know you're not at our level. Please tell me you didn't actually check in. I checked in this afternoon. Oh my God, she put a hand over her face. This is so embarrassing. What if someone sees you in the elevator or the lobby? What if they realize you're staying in the same hotel as all our successful guests? They'll think you're some kind of stalker or groupie. I'm just staying overnight. I'll leave in the morning. You need to cancel it right now. Get your deposit back. Cut your losses. Claire, I'm serious. This is beyond inappropriate. You're trying to infiltrate a lifestyle you don't belong in. The room is paid for, I said quietly. Then get a refund. I'm sure they have cancellation policies. She stood up so abruptly her chair scraped the floor. I'm going to talk to Mom and Dad about this. This is exactly the kind of delusional behavior we've been worried about. She stormed toward the family table, where I could see her lean in, speaking quickly, pointing back at me. A moment later, all three of them looked over together with the exact same expression: disappointment, disgust, certainty. Then all three of them started walking toward table 17. A few minutes later, my mother, my father, and Amanda reached my table together. Several nearby guests turned to watch immediately, sensing the change in the air before a word was spoken. Claire, Mom said in a harsh whisper. Amanda told us about the room. What were you thinking? I was thinking I'd need a place to stay, I answered. You live 40 minutes away, Dad snapped. You could have driven home. Instead, Mom said, you wasted hundreds of dollars trying to pretend you're something you're not. I wanted to stay at the hotel, I said simply. This is exactly what we're talking about, Mom continued. This kind of irresponsible financial decision-making. This is why you're stuck where you are in life. You spend money on things you can't afford, instead of investing in your future. Amanda crossed her arms tightly. I want you to cancel that room right now. This is my wedding, and I will not have you embarrassing me by pretending to be a guest at a luxury hotel. I am a guest at a luxury hotel, I said. I'm staying here. You're crashing here, Amanda corrected. There's a difference. Real guests belong here. You're just playing dress up. I think I'll keep my room. Dad's face hardened instantly. Claire Elizabeth Williams, you will cancel that room immediately, or we will call the hotel management ourselves and have them remove you from the premises. On what grounds? On the grounds that you can't afford to be here and you're clearly having some kind of mental break, thinking you can just... Is everything all right here? We all turned at once. A man in an immaculate black suit had approached the table. His name tag read James Morrison, hotel manager. He carried himself with the composed professionalism of someone used to smoothing disasters before they became scenes. We're fine, Dad said quickly. Just a family discussion. I apologize for interrupting, James said smoothly. I just wanted to check in on our VIP guest and ensure everything is meeting expectations. VIP guest? Amanda repeated. James smiled at me politely. Miss Williams, I trust your suite is satisfactory. We upgraded you to the presidential level as requested. The silence that followed seemed to crush the sound out of the ballroom. The presidential level? Mom repeated faintly. Of course, James said. Miss Williams always stays in our finest accommodations when she's here. Although, Miss Williams, I must say, we're delighted to have you attending an event in the ballroom this time, rather than simply staying with us during your business trips. Business trips? Dad said. James looked from one face to another, and his instincts clearly told him he had stepped into something much larger than a simple family dispute. I hope I haven't spoken out of turn, he said carefully. You're saying Claire stays here regularly? Amanda asked. I shouldn't discuss guest information, James replied. But given the circumstances, and with Miss Williams present, I think I can confirm that yes, she is one of our most valued regular guests. There must be some mistake, Mom said sharply. Our daughter can't afford Mom, I said quietly. Please. No, Claire, this is absurd. This man clearly has you confused with someone else. Tell him there's been a mix-up. James pulled out his phone, tapped the screen a few times, then turned it so my mother could see. This is Miss Williams's profile in our guest management system. Is this not her? Mom stared at the screen, then at me, then back again. I don't understand. Perhaps we should discuss this elsewhere, I suggested. No, Amanda said immediately. We're discussing this right here. Mr. Morrison, how many times has my sister stayed at this hotel? James looked deeply uncomfortable. I really shouldn't. How many times? He glanced at me. I gave a small nod. According to our records, Miss Williams has stayed with us 73 times over the past 4 years. She maintains an annual membership in our Diamond Elite program, which requires a minimum spend of $200,000 per year in room rates alone. Amanda actually stumbled backward. $200,000? That does not include dining, spa services, or event space rentals, James added. Miss Williams, your family seems surprised by this information. I apologize if I've created any awkwardness. It's fine, James, I said. Wait, Dad said, and his voice sounded wrong now, thinner than before. Event space rentals? We really should discuss this in private, I said, standing up. The Grand Azure has been honored to host several of Miss Williams's corporate events, James continued, now too far into the revelation to stop cleanly. Including an annual conference that brings in approximately 3,000 attendees each year. We are already looking forward to next year's booking. Marcus arrived then, drawn by the shifting circle of attention and the sudden stillness spreading through the tables nearby. "What's going on?" he asked. "Apparently Claire is some kind of secret millionaire who stays at luxury hotels all the time," Amanda said, her voice soaked in disbelief and sarcasm, which is obviously ridiculous. Mr. Morrison clearly has her confused with someone else. James's expression changed slightly, less apologetic now, more precise. "I assure you there is no confusion. Miss Williams is not only a valued guest, but—" He hesitated. "But what?" Dad demanded. "I should really let Miss Williams explain." Every face turned toward me. At the nearby tables, conversations had gone quiet. Guests were no longer pretending not to listen. "Claire," Mom said slowly. "What is he talking about?" Before I could answer, another woman approached. Sharp business suit, confident stride, badge reading Patricia Chin, Director of Operations. "James, I need to speak with you about—" She stopped when she saw me. "Miss Williams, I didn't realize you were here for a personal event. I hope everything has been perfect." "Everything's been lovely, Patricia. Thank you." Patricia glanced at my family and smiled. "These must be your relatives. How wonderful that the event is being held here. Miss Williams, if you need anything at all tonight, please do not hesitate to call me directly." "Miss Williams doesn't need to call anyone," Amanda said coldly. "This is my wedding, and I'm the one who booked this venue." Patricia's smile remained, but her eyes cooled. "Of course, though technically the booking was made through Sterling Events, which is one of our corporate partners. The actual contract is with the property ownership group." Amanda blinked. So the ownership group has final approval on all events," Patricia said. "We were very pleased they approved your wedding, Mrs. Thompson." "They?" Dad asked. "Who are they?" Patricia looked at James. James looked at me. Both of them were measuring how much more should be said. "Perhaps it's time," I said quietly. "Time for what?" Mom demanded. Then a third person approached the table, an older man in an expensive suit, walking with the relaxed certainty of someone accustomed to owning every room he entered. His name tag read Michael Reynolds, Regional Vice President, Azure Luxury Hotels. "Excuse me," he said pleasantly. "I do not mean to interrupt a family celebration, but I saw Miss Williams was here and wanted to say hello personally." He shook my hand warmly. "Claire, wonderful to see you. I trust James and Patricia have been taking excellent care of you as always." "Outstanding, Michael. And I wanted to let you know the quarterly reports are ready for your review. I'll have them sent to your office on Monday as usual." The color drained out of my father's face. "Her office?" Michael turned to him with a courteous smile. "You must be very proud of your daughter, Mr. Williams. Not many people accomplish what she has by age 32. Dad opened his mouth, but nothing complete came out. "I don't. I'm not." Amanda broke in, voice shaking now. "I'm sorry, who exactly are you?" "Michael Reynolds. I oversee Azure Luxury Hotels East Coast operations, which means I report directly to the ownership board." He paused, which includes Miss Williams as the majority shareholder. The room did not move. It felt like even the music had stopped. "Majority shareholder," Mom repeated numbly. "That's correct," Michael said. "Miss Williams owns 51% of Azure Luxury Hotels International, which includes this property and 47 others across 12 countries. Marcus gave a short laugh that sounded closer to panic than humor. "That's impossible. Claire drives a Honda Civic." "I like my Civic," I said softly. Dad stared at me. "Claire, is this true?" I looked at all of them. My sister in her expensive white gown. My brother-in-law in his designer suit. My parents shining with diamonds, arrogance, and absolute confusion. All of them looking at me as if I had become someone else in front of their eyes. "Yes," I said, "it's true." "But how?" Amanda whispered. "I started a data analysis company in my 20s. We developed predictive algorithms for hospitality markets. Azure Hotels bought my company 4 years ago for the algorithm, but part of the deal was that I retained majority ownership in the parent company. I also sit on the board and oversee certain strategic initiatives." "You're a data analyst," Dad said weakly. "I am. I analyze market data, revenue projections, customer behavior patterns, expansion opportunities, and dozens of other factors. I just do it for a company worth approximately $8 billion. Mom sank into an empty chair as if her knees had simply given out. 8 billion. That's the current valuation. Amanda's voice rose again, but now the sharpness had been replaced by desperation. Then why do you dress like that? Why do you drive that car? Why do you live in a rental apartment? I like my clothes, I like my car, and I like my apartment. I don't need to prove anything to anyone. You let us think you were poor, Mom said accusingly. You assumed I was poor. I never said I was. You never corrected us. You never asked. You just decided. I looked at each of them in turn. All of you decided I was a failure because I did not perform success the way you wanted me to. I was content with that. I didn't need your approval. But you embarrassed us, Dad said. I embarrassed you by not living up to your arbitrary standards. That is different. James cleared his throat. Miss Williams, about the wedding event tonight. Given the circumstances, should we proceed with the standard post-event protocols? Amanda turned sharply. What protocols? The event was booked at our standard rate, Patricia explained. 15% discount through Sterling Events. However, when a majority shareholder's family member is involved, we typically apply a family courtesy adjustment. Marcus frowned. A courtesy adjustment? Without it, Patricia said. We charge full rate, no discounts, no deferrals, and full payment due within 30 days instead of our usual 60-day payment plan option. Amanda went pale. But the invoice you sent earlier was the discounted amount, $30,000 for the space, plus catering, plus service fees. With the family courtesy adjustment removed, the total comes to $42,000 due in full by December 1st. That's in 30 days, Marcus said. Yes, sir. We can't pay that much in 30 days. We were counting on the payment plan. Patricia gave him a flawless professional smile. I understand. Unfortunately, the policy is quite clear when family members of the ownership board are involved. We maintain strict standards to avoid any appearance of preferential treatment. Dad stood up abruptly. Now wait just a minute. Claire, you can't let them do this. You're on the board. You can override this policy. I could, I said. But why would I? Because we're your family. My family? I looked directly at him. The family that put me at table 17. The family that told me I was an embarrassment. The family that said I couldn't afford the dessert. The family that was ashamed to have me in their photographs. That family? Claire, please, Mom said. We didn't mean... You meant every word. You always have. My voice stayed calm. That made it land harder. For years, you treated me like I was less than. Like I was a disappointment. Like I was something to be hidden away and ignored. We just wanted you to succeed, Dad protested. I did succeed. You just never bothered to notice, because my success did not look like what you expected. Amanda stepped toward me, her face stricken. Claire, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You didn't know because you didn't care to know. You made assumptions and never questioned them. But we're family, Mom said desperately. Are we? Because family usually does not treat each other the way you've treated me. Michael cleared his throat again. Miss Williams, I hate to interrupt, but there is another matter. The annual board meeting is next week, and we need to finalize the venue. You mentioned possibly hosting it here. I did. But given tonight's experience, I'm thinking we might choose a different property. Perhaps the Azure Monte Carlo, Michael asked. Excellent choice. That would mean approximately 800 guests, correct? Board members, executives, and their families? That's right. We'll make arrangements immediately. The Monte Carlo booking would generate approximately $2 million in revenue for that property. Dad's face went even whiter. $2 million. Claire, you can't take that away from this hotel. Think of the local economy, the jobs. I am thinking of them. I'm thinking they deserve a hotel owner who is not being actively insulted by her own family in the ballroom. James's phone buzzed. He glanced down. Miss Williams, I'm being informed that several guests are already asking about room bookings for future events. Apparently word has spread about who you are. Should I process those at standard rates? For everyone except immediate family, I said. For them, use the no discount family courtesy rate. Understood. At that moment, Uncle Richard approached hesitantly, his confidence gone. Claire, sweetheart, I'm sure we all said some things tonight that came out wrong. They came out exactly how you meant them, Uncle Richard. You asked if I had any prospects. You suggested I was running out of time. You implied I was a failure. I smiled sadly. The funny thing is, I never needed your validation. I was fine being underestimated. It made my life simpler. Aunt Susan was crying now. We didn't understand. You didn't try to understand. There's a difference. Patricia's phone rang. She answered, listened for a moment, then looked at me. Miss Williams, The hotel concierge is asking about the 3 vehicles parked in the VIP section. Apparently, security is questioning their authorization. 2 Teslas and a Mercedes. Are those your family's vehicles? Marcus nodded first. That's mine, and Amanda's parents' cars. And the Mercedes is ours, Dad added. I see, Patricia said. Well, the VIP section is reserved for ownership, executive staff, and their approved guests. Since Miss Williams has not designated any of you as approved guests, I'm afraid those vehicles will need to be moved to standard parking. Standard parking is 3 blocks away, Marcus said. It's 11 at night. Yes, sir. The valet can retrieve your vehicles if you'd like, but there will be a $50 convenience fee per vehicle. Dad turned to me in disbelief. Claire, this is petty. Is it? I asked. This entire evening, all of you made it clear that I don't belong in your world, that I'm not at your level. Now you want me to give you access to mine. Before anyone could answer, Michael's phone rang. He listened briefly, then turned toward Amanda. Mrs. Thompson, I'm being informed that the hotel restaurant charge for your rehearsal dinner last night is being reviewed. It was previously comped as a courtesy, but given the changed circumstances, Amanda looked like she was struggling to breathe. How much was the rehearsal dinner? $8,000, Michael said. Amanda swayed on her feet. You're going to charge us for that too? It is standard policy when the family courtesy protocols are applied. Claire, please. Amanda grabbed my arm. We can't afford all of this. The wedding already cost us everything we had saved. If you make us pay full price for everything, we'll be in debt for years. I looked down at her hand on my arm, then I looked at her face. Tears were running down her cheeks now, cutting through her perfect makeup, ruining the image she had spent the entire day building. You should have thought of that before you told me to stick to fast food, I said quietly. I pulled my arm away and turned to James. Please prepare the updated invoice for the Thompson family. Full amounts, 30-day payment terms, no exceptions. Yes, Miss Williams. Claire, you can't do this, Marcus said. This is vindictive. This is cruel. Is it? Or is it just the natural consequence of your own behavior? I picked up my small purse from the table. You all spent the evening making it very clear that money determines worth, that success is measured in dollars and status symbols. So here is your lesson. I have more money than all of you combined. I have more success than you ever imagined. And I still don't think you're worth very much. Claire Elizabeth Williams. Dad's voice cracked with an authority that no longer had any force behind it. That tone doesn't work anymore, Dad. You have no authority over me. You never really did. But now you definitely don't. Mom stood up abruptly. If you do this, if you charge us these fees and take away the discounts, we'll never forgive you. Good, I said. Then we'll be even. I turned and started walking toward the ballroom exit. Behind me, I could hear my family beginning to argue with James.